We need to have a conversation about Star Wars right now because this is becoming unhealthy and I need to share with someone, okay? So if you're new here, which I'm assuming you are because there's nobody here, I'm like talking to nobody, but we're doing it. My name is Maren and I am a bookish person from Norway, but I do live in Sweden, and this year I discovered Star Wars. Only like 25 years late. But we're here. We are here and I am absolutely here for a good time. I made it my mission this year to get into Star Wars because I want my husband to take me to Disney World, and that worked. We're going. But it backfired because now I'm too far in and I can't get out of this fandom and I'm sold. I wanted to give you guys an update on where we are today and like what's going on, what am I thinking, what am I watching, what am I reading, and all that, because I really want to share this with someone, because obviously my husband is going crazy listening to all my theories that he's had in his head for like 20 plus years, and now I'm just catching up. But I believe it's never too late to find something that you're interested in or something that you love, and that's just what your 20s are all about, finding things that you enjoy and new passions and new interests and just people that you can connect with those things about. So that's what we're here for. So the biggest update really is that I have finally finished all Star Wars media that have humans, like the non-animated stuff. And that felt like such a big threshold to cross, because now I'm like, yes, I get it now. I get it now. I'm still catching up on the animated stuff, but we're getting there. We're getting there, and more on that later. But I finally made it, and I watched everything, every single thing Disney's put out, like the shows and the movies, whatnot. And I have so many thoughts. It's really important to bear in mind that I was not a Star Wars fan growing up. I did not watch Star Wars. Like, my brothers could be watching the Clone Wars and I was just like, oh, can we switch the channel, you know? But so I had like zero knowledge going into Star Wars. I didn't know anything. I had zero like expectations, preconceptions about Star Wars, or any opinions. So I went into this completely blind, like as blind as you could go into Star Wars. And it was fun, because this means that I have not caught up on all the drama, all the tea, and all the stuff going on in the fandom. So I'm just watching these films with pure enjoyment. I did not know this was a Disney movie, this was a Lucasfilm movie, and this was made by George Lucas, this was made with Disney. No. I just watched the movies and then I got caught up afterwards. So my opinions in these movies are in no way, shape, or form affected or altered by outside stuff. I've just watched the movies as a movie and that's it. Well, I haven't really seen the full picture of everything, but it also means that I've gone into these movies blind with zero expectations or opinions of others going into it. All I know is what my husband has told me and what his opinions are, and some of them I strongly disagree with. And I think I have a lot of controversial opinions on Star Wars in general now, this far, than when I look at stuff online. And yeah, I think that's definitely because I went into this blind, but it's fun. It's all good. Let's talk favorite characters, favorite movies, favorites, everything I love. Like, before we go into the bad stuff. From the movies, my definite favorite has been Obi-Wan, like consistently. Obi-Wan and Han Solo, those two are just, I love everything about them. And if you're watching Star Wars and you're not seeing the suffering that Obi-Wan has been put through, I don't know what to tell you. And I definitely feel like he's one of the characters that has suffered the most in the entire saga. It's just, it breaks my heart. And watching the Obi-Wan show, the Kenobi show on Disney, just heavily emphasized the opinion I had going from the movies and looking back at it. it was just sad. Like, that man needs some happiness, and I don't know if Disney is ever going to make like a second season of the show, but if they do, that man just needs to be happy. He just needs to be doing something fun rather than just reliving and experiencing trauma after trauma. Like, he needs a break. I don't know why they're not giving it to him. He's always suffering, and it's not at his own, like his own fault. It's at the cost of other people, because he's always looking out for other people and just being a decent guy, which is what sucks the most about all of it. So justice for Obi-Wan. And Obi-Wan was my husband's favorite character growing up, and so I had that in mind watching Star Wars, and obviously most of the time we agree on stuff, so I can totally see why he grew up loving Obi-Wan and that was his favorite from day one. And moving out from the films, this is where it gets, because I kind of prefer some of the shows and storylines to stuff from the movies. Like The Mandalorian, probably my #1 rated of everything I've seen, like looking at everything. And with that, Bo-Katan, that's my girl. Like, I would die for Bo-Katan. I would do anything for Bo-Katan. And I hope she knows it, because she's my favorite. And I just, anything she does, she's such a badass, and she just gives zero fucks, but while still being she's still respectful. Like, she's a lady, but you know, she's a badass and she knows how to get shit done. Absolutely love her. And her headband, oh, she's a badass. She's a badass, and I love every single thing about her, and I really hope, I don't know if she is or if she's not, and this is common knowledge, but I really need her to be in the Mandalorian Grogu movie. Like, that's all I need. Everything I want is to be reunited with Bo-Katan and seeing her and Din happy together. They don't even need to be together. They just need to be happy. The bar is in the basement. Talking about the Mandalorian, everyone loves Grogu. Completely justified. Like, we're always talking about how, you know, Stitch and Grogu has been like the millennial mascot almost. Like, everyone's just using them as memes, t-shirts, cups, whatever. Completely justified. Grogu is the cutest thing I've ever seen, and I'm telling you right now, when I get a second cat, because I will get one day, his name will be Grogu. No questions. He's getting the name Grogu, and he will wear it with pride. He is the cutest little green guy in the galaxy, and I know he's not a baby, obviously not, but he's still my baby. Like, he's my child, and I would do anything for him. On the topic of favorites, we just have to talk about these two. We're not going to talk about how we were robbed of them being happy together. We're just going to pretend that they were, and like everything was good in the world, and that's why I love this book. It gave me everything I needed from Han and Leia, and just seeing them happy, even though it's very fast paced, and like even though it's not really fast paced, but it's like you're moving through things like so fast, but at the same time it's really slow. It was just perfect. And this book is about their wedding and their honeymoon on a cruise ship. But it's not really a cruise ship. We're planning our honeymoon, and Galaxy's Edge will be on it. Like, no questions asked. But I absolutely love that book. It was a great introduction to the Star Wars book world, which is also an area that I'm slowly catching up on. I bought that one, and then I bought the Padme series, which it's a bit harder to get into, but I'm still enjoying it. And I've also done one audiobook, this one. It was free on Audible, probably like for children or YA, but it was really fun. It was like pod racing. It was literally just pod racing, and I love that. I needed that. It was like 3-hour listen, and like if you listen a bit quicker it's easier, but it was fun. It was about just seeing Anakin and Obi-Wan get into their own, like after Qui-Gon is dead, and like they're catching up, like finding themselves again, reinventing themselves as Padawan and Jedi. It was just so fun to see, and I absolutely loved seeing that side of their relationship, because the jump between the movies is a bit too far. Like, I get why they did it, but I also wish that there was something to fill that gap. and this did that. And I'm sure there are other books out there that do the same, and I will definitely be revisiting them as well. We can't talk about Star Wars without talking about the things that make me upset or annoy me, because this is just as important as the things we love. And even though there are things that make you upset or annoy you or you get frustrated about, it's still part of the package. Like, if we enjoyed everything about something, it wouldn't be fun. Like, you need to have that element of frustration in it in order to keep the story going and just like bring everything to life. And let me be the first to tell you that I am not an Anakin Skywalker defender. Like, no, I would hit that man with a bus and move on with my life. He is a walking red flag. And I get the appeal, trust me, I do. I've read my fair share of dark romance and like morally gray characters, but he's not even gray. He's like completely, you know, and I'm not saying it's his own fault. Like, life threw him a curveball and all that, Palpatine, and like growing up as a slave, but no. Like, the entire like picnic scene on Naboo is so romanticized by people, and like, when you listen to what he's saying, I'm like scared. I'm scared for Padme, and honestly, girl, you need to run away. I mean, it didn't end up well for her, so I guess who got the final say after all. Everyone has to love him, but I have to say he looks the best in Revenge of the Sith with the long hair. I get it. I too would be blinded if I didn't have common sense left in my brain. That's so rude. I'm joking. Love Anakin as much as you want, but I'll stay on Obi-Wan's high ground. More like Mickey Mouse right now than I look like Leia with her space buns. We have to talk about Disney. Obviously, we have to talk about Disney. And I know the original fans do not like Disney. And I get it. I completely get it. Because watching those 3 last movies, it was like watching a train go off the rails. And while I enjoy them for the sake of entertainment, I felt like we lost track of the plot. And somehow Palpatine has returned. You can still enjoy those movies and find stuff that you enjoy in them while also criticizing what Disney is doing to the storyline, you know? It doesn't have to be good or bad. It could be somewhere in the middle. Like, I love Reylo, but I'm not loving the whole rushing the storyline and bringing back old elements for the sake of nostalgia. No, we don't have to do that. Star Wars is such a big universe, and there are so many storylines to pick up on that you could easily find characters to create new stories rather than just reusing the old ones, you know? Like, we don't need a repeat of A New Hope to keep the story going. But there are still elements in the Disney stories that we can appreciate, and I absolutely love how Disney has brought Star Wars to a new generation that otherwise maybe wouldn't have picked up the movies or checked everything out. But like, there are so many kids growing up with Star Wars now. Probably was back in the day as well, but like, it's so accessible now, and there are so many stories, and there's something out there for everyone. And I love that Disney did that. We just need to revisit the plot a bit, you know, backtrack and follow our traces and figure out where we're going from here. Like, not everything needs to be rushed. So I thank you for listening to this entire rant about Star Wars. If you did, I'm eternally grateful, and I just can't wait to find other people that love these things as much as I do, that I could learn new things from and just make new friends that love the same things that I do.